All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Welcome, graduates, family, friends, alumni, and distinguished guests. I'm Steve Swanson. I'm the Dean of the School of Pharmacy, and it's my honor to participate with you in this wonderful celebration of such major accomplishments for our class of 2022. One thing that the pandemic has reminded us of is how important it is to us to be able to gather together for these celebratory events. And I am thrilled that we can celebrate our students' accomplishments today with faculty and staff, with friends and family. It's truly a pleasure to be with you all today. One of the few good things that arose from the pandemic is our collective skill at connecting virtually. We're glad that those of you who would otherwise not participate today view this ceremony via live stream, and I'm looking at a camera hoping that that's the right camera to look at. Welcome. Students, you've survived one of the toughest conditions nature can bring, endured isolation, adapted repeatedly, and ultimately succeeded. You truly are battle-tested badgers. I speak for the entire faculty and staff when I say that we are extraordinarily proud of your resilience, your grit, and your perseverance. And so we celebrate you today. I'm joined on stage by esteemed members of the School of Pharmacy community, faculty and staff members, academic leaders, advisors, instructors, and mentors who will assist in the individual recognition of our professional and graduate degree candidates. I ask that each individual please rise when I introduce you and remain standing until the final name is read. Leon Yu, Professor of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Warren Rose, Associate Professor of Pharmacy Practice. Amanda Margolis, Assistant Professor of Pharmacy Practice. Kate Rotzenberg, Teaching Faculty in Social and Administrative Sciences. Ed Portillo, Assistant Professor of Pharmacy Practice. Bonnie Fingerhut, Teaching Specialist in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Rebecca Beebe, PharmD Advisor in Student and Academic Affairs. John Dobb, Associate Professor and Vice Chair of the Pharmacy Practice Division. Marina Mays, Assistant Professor of Pharmacy Practice. Karen Kopasik, Associate Professor of Pharmacy Practice and Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Jay Ford, Assistant Professor of Social and Administrative Sciences. David Mott, William S. Apple Distinguished Chair, Professor of Social and Administrative Sciences, and Associate Dean for Advancement. Eric Buxton, Associate Clinical Professor and Chair of the Division of Pharmacy Professional Development. Jack Temple, Associate Clinical Professor and Academic Program Director for the Master's Program in Health Systems Pharmacy Administration. Lara Collier, Associate Professor and Director of Graduate Studies in the Pharmaceutical Sciences Graduate Program. Lucas Rickard, Associate Professor of Social and Administrative Sciences and Director of Graduate Studies in the Health Services Research and Pharmacy Program. Meldart de Villiers, Professor of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Vice Dean, and Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Arash Basharullah, Associate Professor of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education. Thomas McCourt, CEO of Ironwood Pharmaceuticals, member of the school's Pharmacy Board of Visitors, and our 2022 keynote speaker. Thank you all for being part of the hooding ceremony today. Please be seated. A few more special guests that we have with us today include some of our most successful and engaged alumni and friends. Michael Nagy, President of the Pharmacy Alumni Association. Alina Seckel, President of the Pharmacy Society of Wisconsin. Josh Lee, recipient of the 2022 Larry Bowe Clinical Instructor Award. And Kate Hartkoff, recipient of the 2022 American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy Master Preceptor Award. We are thrilled to have each and every one of you here today. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce the keynote speaker, Thomas McCourt. Tom is the son of a pharmacist, a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Pharmacy, and a member of the school's board of visitors, where he and other highly successful graduates provide critical advice to me and the school's leadership that helps us maintain our margin of excellence. Tom is also a member of the Board of Trustees for the American Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy and is this year's recipient of the ASGE President's Award. Tom joined Ironwood Pharmaceuticals in 2009 as Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales and Chief Commercial Officer. Last year, after a steady series of promotions and increased responsibilities, Tom was named CEO of the Cambridge, Massachusetts firm. Tom was a key player on the Ironwood team that developed linaclotide, or Linzess, which recently achieved blockbuster status. Before joining Ironwood, Tom led the U.S. brand team for denosumab at Amgen, and prior to that, he was part of Novartis, where he directed the launch and growth of Ticagrelor for the treatment of patients with irritable bowel syndrome with constipation. Tom is also part of the founding team at Astra Merck, leading the development of the Medical Affairs and Science Liaison Group, and then serving as brand manager for Prilosec and Exam. Tom is a very successful leader who has shepherded important medications that have literally helped millions of patients worldwide. He is someone who truly cares about others and fosters trust, inspires excellence, and fuels creativity and fun. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Thomas McCourt. Tom?
Thanks, Fred. Wow, what a day, huh? How do you feel? Excited? All right. Well, it's absolutely my honor and privilege to be here today. And on behalf of the Board of Visitors at the School of Pharmacy, as well as now your fellow alumnus, we really congratulate you on this milestone in your careers. I want to thank Dean Swanson and Professor Mott for inviting me to be here today to just share a couple of thoughts of things I learned along the way. I'm also joined here with some real special people to me, my wife, Doreen, my lovely sister, Deborah, who's also a UW grad and an incredible Badger fan, and my son, Bryce, and my absolutely amazing granddaughter, Lena, who's destined to be a future Badger. I encourage all of you just to take the moment and think about and reflect about what you've achieved here today. Consider the feeling that you're feeling right now of pride and joy that you're sharing with your families, your friends, your fellow students, the faculty, and the alumni. And remember the people that inspired and supported you to get here to this moment. Appreciate how much you've learned and how much you've grown since you've been here as certainly individuals and as scholars, because you do represent the next generation who can make a difference in patients' lives. It's a gift and it's a responsibility within an industry full of opportunities and challenges. I can say without a doubt the University of Wisconsin changed my life. It challenged and stretched me beyond my imagination. And like many of you, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin. It's quite conservative, largely Catholic, so we all felt guilty. And it was essentially no diversity in terms of race, culture, or thought. I applied to one school out of college or high school, and I came here, because of the top-notch academic status, but also a dream to play football. I must admit, the memory of running out of the tunnel at Camp Randall still gives me goosebumps. And due to a series of concussions, it cut my career short. But the personal health struggle that I faced stimulated further interest in pharmacy and pharmacology, which obviously became my life work. Like many of you in this room that were around in the 70s, you probably remember Madison as a very different place at a very different time. But the academic and cultural experience was still extraordinary, and the faculty and the ideal was memorable. For instance, I still remember Dr. Paris Costola, who has led the history of pharmacy, which he pronounced as pharmacy, because he had this incredible accent from Brooklyn, which we all got a charge of, and he was enormously entertaining. Dr. Charles C. Charlie was, a biochemistry professor here and just tortures us with the Krebs cycle, and it's still embedded in my brain. And Dr. Bob Hamill, who taught jurisprudence, and many of you may not be aware, but they waited to give us jurisprudence at the last semester of pharmacy school. And it was brutal. In fact, he flunked a dozen kids. Fortunately, I survived it and was able to graduate. But I still remember walking through the rickety hallways of Cambridge Hall, going to see my advisor, Carl Buckner, who really helped me explore what were the opportunities out in front of us. And I also must admit, I was one of the adventurous that did take the slide down the fire chute at Old Science Hall and got caught. I was here when the pink flamingos first nested on Bascom Hill, and I did actively participate in the world's largest toga party in Lot 60 when the Pail and Shovel gang was in charge of the student association. And Doreen, I'm not sure I ever shared the specifics of that. But the UW provided me the knowledge, the experience, and the relationships that really laid the foundation for my life's work. One of the most important things I learned here on campus was look beyond the obvious. And when you work hard enough at it, you can find an answer where there isn't an answer. And it's something I've tried to apply throughout my career. Trying to be willing to stay curious, learning, continuously learning, asking tough questions, and challenging the status quo, which I really urge all of you to do as you move forward in your career. I started off thinking that I would follow my father's footsteps as a retail pharmacist, and he had such pride to be a pharmacist, and he loved what he did. But I was drawn to another path, one of pharmacology and drug development. And I was able to take the knowledge and confidence that I gained here at the university to crystallize my own personal purpose and develop my own playbook to kind of govern my path. Right now, the role of pharmacist is expanding exponentially. The broad-based knowledge that you've gained here and you can apply to a wealth of opportunities out there. It's what differentiates this program. It's what will differentiate you as you look at your next leg of your adventure. Today, you can serve patients as a retail pharmacist, a hospital pharmacist. You can work in the life science industry in areas like medical affairs, regulatory affairs, clinical development, drug information, and even consider venture capital in biotech. And I have classmates and colleagues that are involved in all these areas. I'm a big believer in insight-led innovation. And what I mean by that is this is all about focusing on what is the question I want to answer and the problem I want to solve. And then let the data and the evidence guide your decision. And it's really inherent to remember that there's probably no greater insight, that I've learned from, and I know you will learn from the patients. Please remember that. My father actually donated a show globe, which is hanging in the dean's conference room. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go down and see it. But every time I walk by it, I hear his voice. Tom, the patient's everything. And the patient is the customer. The customer is always right, and you're not the customer. It's something I've thought about through my whole career, and I've tried to embrace, throughout my career and in the people I interacted with. I was extremely fortunate to start my career at Merck Pharmaceuticals for many reasons. One, when I was there, it was really, truly the class of the industry. It was a great place to learn. I also met my wife, Doreen, there at Merck. At the time, she was my boss's boss. I was a good sales guy. And by the way, she's still the boss's boss. But I had the great good fortune to work on Prilosec and was involved in the original NDA to the FDA, which many of you know was the first of the proton pump inhibitors. And we all affectionately called the purple pill, or better off, the purple magic. And while it's well known today, and it's in every pharmacy and grocery store you can see, when Prilosec first came to market, everybody thought it was too potent. In fact, we launched with a box warning for the risk of carcinoid tumors. And we were limited to the length of therapy that you could treat these people suffering from acid-related disease. And as you all know, these are chronic diseases. They're horrible. They're difficult. And, we had very strong competitors in Zantac and Tagamet who was telling the world we cause cancer, right? And it was actually suppressing the uptake of the drug dramatically to the point where Merck was considering throttling back in the investment. But a few of us were really inspired by the voice of the patient and how much this drug changed their lives. For the first time, people could sleep. These people were like sitting up in chairs at night. And it not only improved their heartburn, it eliminated their heartburn. And so, we were convinced that the drug was not only more effective, but the emerging data looked like the drug was safe. And we joined this new organization called AstraMerc, which then became AstraZeneca. And we worked very closely with the FDA to eliminate the safety concerns, remove the box, and add 8 additional indications. And it instilled in me at that moment the importance of following the data, the evidence, to seek the truth, to support patients. Prilosec went on to be the #1 drug in the world, which was really remarkable back then. So as you set out on your journey, and you start understanding your patient and your customer, remember, there's a real danger in assuming you understand their needs. Take the time to really understand what their needs are, the problems they're trying to solve, and help them solve it. And when you allow these insights to lead your innovative thought, incredible things can happen, and you can actually transform patients' lives. And I can tell you, there's nothing more incredible is the feeling of accomplishment when you've changed somebody's lives. And that's something you are all going to experience. While innovation starts with insight, it relies on collaboration, to bring it to fruition. I learned that principle in my early years playing football, but also throughout my professional career. And this whole adage of there is no I in team absolutely always resonated with me. But we all must be willing to work with others to get better at who we are and what we are, and to seek the truth and make change happen. When I first came to Ironwood, we had a drug, as the dean mentioned, called linaclotide, which now has become Linzess, and we faced an incredible challenge. And we're trying to develop the first ever room temperature stable oral polypeptide, which had never been done. And we were really struggling with it. We knew the drug worked, we knew the drug was safe, but we weren't sure if we could make a room temperature product, which really would have compromised, the success of the brand. And we reached out to a gentleman by the name of Jim Wright, who's a fellow alumnus here, and really sought his advice. And he came from another company just to help us solve the problem. And through his insight and his expertise, we were able to find a solution, which really enabled Linzess to come to market. So it's another point of evidence that being a Badger has its advantages. And last year, as the dean mentioned, we celebrate achieving blockbuster status, but more importantly, this drug has helped over 4 million people, across the country with their irritable bowel syndromes, and it's really changed people's lives. And I'm not sure that would have been possible if it wasn't for the collaboration with Jim. And being on the board of visitors, I've heard a lot about all of you. The dean and the faculty have spoke a lot. I've been absolutely amazed in the remarkable achievement that you made here. Your ability to stay resilient against unimaginable challenges, created by the pandemic. You studied hard, you participated in more important research, you asked tough questions, and you certainly experienced tremendous growth. The last thought I want to share with you is I encourage you to find your own personal purpose. I mentioned that earlier, and to me, your personal purpose is recognizing where your innate skills and towering strengths intersect with your passion and loves. My moment came when I made a decision to leave medical affairs and clinical development and take on a marketing role for Prilosec. And I quickly recognized, an ability that I had to translate really good science into clinical benefits and patient benefits and really shape and grow brands. But my challenge was my own PR. And, the leadership in the marketing group saw me as a science guy trying to be a marketer. and I was really struggling to advance my career. So I had a couple of mentors that says, Tom, you just got to leave. You got to reinvent yourself. And these two gentlemen were over at Novartis and said, come to Novartis and reinvent yourself. You're going to walk in as a marketing guy that knows as much about drug development as the drug development guys are. And I did that. And it really changed my personal brand and where I went. It was really scary, I got to tell you. And it's something Doreen and I spent a lot of time kind of soul searching about, but I jumped off the cliff, and it turned out well for me. Believe me, becoming a CEO of a pharmaceutical company was beyond my wildest imagination. My point here is explore all your options. Immerse yourself in the possibility to find your own personal purpose. Love what you do and do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. So now it's your turn. How will you be part of this legacy of innovation and discovery? There's just so many answers to be found out there, and this group can find them. How will you make your mark? And that's up to you to define. Remember, put yourself in the shoes of your patients every moment you can. Ask yourself, are there ways in which I can improve their lives? And when you find the answer, figure out the best way to make it happen. Sometimes that's through collaboration, sometimes that's with sharing your knowledge with others, and other times it's just having to look beyond the obvious and allow your curiosity to inspire your next steps, to find the answer where there is no answer. Because the best way to predict the future is create it. And there is no doubt this is a remarkable group of graduates, and I know I'm staring in the eyes of people that are going to change others' lives. So congratulations to all of you. It's only the beginning. The best is yet to come, and please make change happen. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. For those who don't know me or need reminding, I'm the compounding professor. I want to first thank Mr. McCord for his remarks. And next, I'll invite Associate Dean Arash Basharullah to the podium for the hooding of our PhD and master's degree candidates.
Thank you, Professor de Villiers. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. Thank you. So it is my honor to begin recognition of our Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Science degree recipients. These are the highest academic degrees awarded and demonstrate completion of the most rigorous and advanced training. The PhD also represents completion of independent research projects that have made new and significant contributions to the body of knowledge in their respective disciplines. At this time, I invite Associate Professor Lucas Rickert to step forward and assist with the hooding of our Doctor of Philosophy candidates in Health Services Research in Pharmacy. This program integrates humanities, social, economic, and behavioral sciences in training the next generation of researchers to help address health outcomes and disparities for patients and the communities they live in. I will now introduce the graduating students and ask their respective PhD advisors to assist with the hooding. I will also read the title of each student's dissertation work. So I invite Professor Dave Mott to step forward to hood. Arvind Kaur, exploration of factors affecting variation in opiate prescribing across counties in Wisconsin. Assistant Professor Jay Ford will step forward and join Professor Dave Mott in hooding Chi-Yin Liao, the effect of patient-centered prescription drug labeling on medication adherence among Wisconsin Medicaid population. Professor Dave Mott will hood Taylor Watterson, validating a tool to measure pharmacist fatigue, implications of the quadruple aim. Okay. I now ask Associate Professor Lara Collier to step forward and assist with the hooding of our Doctor of Philosophy candidates in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Sitting at the interface between chemistry, biology, and engineering, this program prepares the next generation of scientists to become leaders within academia, government, and industry. I will now introduce the graduating students and ask their respective PhD advisors to assist in the hooding. I will also read the title of the student's dissertation work. Associate Professor Warren Rose will step forward to hood Cassandra Liu, beta-lactam-mediated enhancement of daptomycin antibacterial activity in methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Yes. Professor Lian Yu will step forward to hood Yuhi Li, surface dynamics and surface engineering of amorphous materials. Professor Lian Yu will also hood Xin Yao, understanding crystallization in drug development, the effect of polymer, surfactant, and free surface on crystal nucleation and growth. I now ask Associate Clinical Professor Jack Temple and Vice Dean Mel de Villiers to step forward and assist with the hooding of our Master of Science candidates in Health System Pharmacy Administration. This program admits doctors of pharmacy into a combined master's degree and residency program at UW Health and is designed to train the next generation of health system pharmacy leaders. I will now introduce the graduating students and read the title of their thesis work. Cecilia Costello, implementation of insulin pens in a large academic medical center. Drew Dretsky, The Price is Right, revamping medication pricing structure for ambulatory pharmacies. Chanel Gilliard, implementation of a controlled substance diversion detection software at UW Health. Hirelin Yusufi, navigating and optimizing medication infusion in an academic medical center. At this time, I invite Associate Clinical Professor Eric Buxton to step forward and join Professor de Villiers to assist with the hooding of our Master of Science candidates in Applied Drug Development. This program was designed in collaboration with biopharmaceutical industry partners to help graduates step into drug development, manufacturing, and regulatory jobs. I will now introduce the graduating students. Wallace Chan. Kaylin Considine. Pengyu Guo. Pujita Kanzemala. Young Yoon Kim. Tejashri Madala. Zachary Miller. Kendra Neely. Shruti Prasad. Ingrid Rojo Muchacho. Deepa Sharma. Monica Schieber. Xingyi Tang. Kandakaran Tadavit Chayapat. Shizhao Zhen. So now, to all our graduating graduate students, congratulations on your hard work and exceptional dedication to the pursuit of excellence. You are now joining a group of elite alumni who are leading the way and making the world a better place. Congratulations. I now invite Vice Dean Mel de Villiers to the podium for hooding of our Doctor of Pharmacy degree candidates.
Thank you, Dr. Basarula. It is my honor to begin the recognition of our Doctor of Pharmacy degree recipients. These students have completed 4 years of rigorous study to become the next generation of Badger pharmacists. As you look at the graduates walking across the stage, you will notice that many of them are wearing colorful skulls that indicate various scholars programs they have completed. These include certificates, named options, paths of distinction. This year, a record 70 students are being recognized, and details of these programs are listed in the program. At this time, for the hooding of the PharmD graduates, I invite the first 2 pairs of PharmD hooders to the front of the stage. Hooding the first half of the Doctor of Pharmacy candidates are Karen Kupasik and Marina Mayes, and John Daub and Rebecca Beebe. Maya Anderson. Megan Andrasky. Bander Osiri. Megan Avery. Caitlin Babula. Megan Baloo. Abigail Banuel. Madison Barbis. Nathan Bartley. Sonia Bardwa. Dylan Beelan. Sarah Bittner. Sandeep Bra. Kelsey Brassel. Caitlin Bruden. Callan Brush. Lorwell Buhayu. John Buchanan. Megan Beekul. Wenshan Sai. Ivy Canella. Kathy Chow. Stephanie Chang, Timothy Clark, Kenton Cooksey, Casey Davis, Madison DeWitt, Nicole Donovan, Emma Dreschmeyer, Logan Ertman, Sydney Ertz, Mary Fanshaw, Justin Ferrick, Catherine Furmanik, Brianna Fils, Taylor Fleet, Emily Fox, Nukia Fuller, Daniel Funk, Denise Garner, Stephanie Garvin, Summer Gay, Darina Georgieva, Taylor Graham, Brianna Gruen, Mark Hanley, Patrick Henry, Matthew Hooley, Margaret Hernke, Jennifer Hoskins, Abigail Yorkfeld, Lauren Johnson, Caitlin Johnson, Jordan Kettner, Manur Khan, NG Kim, Aaron Kleisen, Jillian Kolotsinski, Newton Koo, Rachel Kaufhammer, Sierra Keel, Sylvia Lechner, Tessulin Lee, Moa Lee, Sarah LeMay, Brandon Lango. At this time, I want to thank the Hooters and call forward the next set of Hooters. Please join us, Edward Portello and Bonnie Fingerhut and Kate Rotzenberg and Amanda Margolis. Thomas Lofi, Dear Lore, Tracy Lore, Tai Lu, Cynthia May, Riley McKay, Owen Miller, Tabitha Miller, Abby Milski, Alexander Moore, Stephanie Moran, Tai Win, Tuwet Win, Madeline Nowakowski, Madeline Ohi, Nicholas Oshesky, Alonzo Ortiz, Lindsay Otto, Nirali Patel, Alex Weber, Peterson Weber, Lauren File, Alexis Plort, Marquise Prebel, Courtney Quinn, Miranda Rang, Alexander Reiter, Jacob Ritchie, Derek Roscoff, Kelsey Rocks, Rachel Russ, Christelle Showalter, Dan Smelter, Stacy Soltis, Wyatt Starman, Kaylee Starry, Jamie Stair, Bailey Stevenson, Lauren Streets, Matthew Shapitma, Samuel Taylor, Tu Ziong Tao, Haley Thompson, Caden Tudo, Rajan Truchel, Fatim Yusini, Johanna Van Epps, Jacob Vance, Jessica van der Kooi, Mary Wang, Sylvia Jo Marie Valles Pache, Natasha Vereta, Andrea Wagner, Sydney Walker, Kristen Wendler, Kaya Wesley, Madison Wyrick, Matthew Weedholz, Emily Worley, Joshua Wirtz, Tyler Wolasek, Jacob Yandre, Linda Zeg. Before, hold on. There are a couple of students who could not join us today, and I would just want to read their names: Tim Smith and Jacqueline Walsh. So now you can congratulate. So once again, congratulations, everyone. A hero of mine, Nelson Mandela, said that it seems impossible till it's done. So congratulations, class of 22, it is done. Okay? So, okay. I now invite Mara Kieser, Professor and Assistant Dean of Experiential Education, on stage to present the 2022 Clinical Instructors Awards.
And it'll be officially done on Monday when we submit your degrees. Thank you, Mel. My name is Mara Kieser, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Experiential Education here at the school. And I just want to say congratulations to all of the graduates. And it's my honor to present the Larry Bow Clinical Instructor Excellence Award. This award is named after Professor Larry Bow, who was a former faculty here at the school, and he taught from 1982 until his passing in 2001. But he was very passionate about teaching students how to become pharmacists. This award is given to a clinical instructor. Clinical instructors are the practicing pharmacists who teach our students when they are completing their clerkship rotations. And we ask the students to nominate an outstanding clinical instructor and consider the pharmacist's ability to communicate, ability to teach, professional attitudes and ethics, outstanding qualities. And just to share a few student quotes for this year's winner, it was clear from the beginning that he was passionate about teaching students. He showcased his constant professionalism. He was continually seeking feedback to improve his rotation and skills as a clinical instructor. He believed in educating students and enjoyed being a clinical instructor. So it's my pleasure to present the 2022 Larry Bow Clinical Instructor Excellence Award to Joshua Lee. And Dr. Lee received his Doctor of Pharmacy degree from Concordia University in 2016 and completed a postgraduate residency at Marshfield Clinic. He is a clinical pharmacy specialist at Marshfield Clinic Health System in Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to accept the Larry Bow Clinical Instructor Excellence Award. I'd like to thank the Marshfield Clinic Health System and the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Pharmacy for the opportunity to precept incredible students during the fourth year of pharmacy school. I would also like to thank all of my mentors and teachers that have inspired me over the years as a student and as a resident. It's really a privilege to be standing here today with all of these distinguished pharmacy colleagues and graduates as we celebrate their accomplishments. To the graduates, not that long ago I was sitting where you are, never dreaming I would receive such an award. I've been precepting UW students for 5 years and have really appreciated all the feedback, thought-provoking discussions, and the interest in growing the field of pharmacy. Being a preceptor is one of the most rewarding parts of my career as a pharmacist, and this award reinforces continuing to teach and precept students. By working hard and pursuing your passions and areas of interest, you can too impact learners throughout your career. I want to encourage all of you to continue to foster your own lifelong love of learning and pass it on to those you interact with. I appreciate this award and recognition, and I'm blessed to share this moment with you here today. Thank you.
And we'll do a shout out to his wife, Claire Lee, who's actually the Wausau Regional Coordinator. So thank you. Next, I am very excited to present the American Association Colleges of Pharmacy Master Preceptor Award to Dr. Kate Harkoff from the University of Wisconsin Hospital and Clinics in Madison, Wisconsin. This is a very competitive award as nominations are submitted by all schools of pharmacy across the United States. And for 2022, AACP selected only 3 winners, so one of them was Kate. This award recognizes preceptors who are not full-time employees of a school of pharmacy for the sustained commitment to excellence in experiential education and professional practice. Dr. Kate Harkoff received her Doctor of Pharmacy degree at the University of Wisconsin School of Pharmacy and completed her postgraduate training and a community pharmacy residency at UW Health. She is currently the Pharmacy Manager of Ambulatory Care Services and Residency Program Director for the Postgraduate Year 2 Ambulatory Care Residency Program at UW Health. Her responsibilities include expansion and oversight of pharmacist services in primary care and specialty clinic. She's also involved in the UW Health Population Health Program development. She also is collaborating for patient transitions of care with an emphasis in ambulatory care setting. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Kate Harkoff for receiving the 2022 AACP Master Preceptor Award.
Quite an honor. Esteemed graduates, colleagues, and guests, thank you so much for this honor. It is very special to me to receive this recognition on a day when the celebration is really all about you and the accomplishments you have made in the past several years of your professional journey. A huge congratulations to all that you have endured in your respective grueling programs during an incredibly challenging time. I was humbled, to say the least, to be nominated by the UW-Madison School of Pharmacy for this national recognition. The application process provided me an opportunity to intentionally reflect on my thoughts about being a preceptor. I share a portion of what I submitted with you today as you envision your future careers. When asked why I decided to become a preceptor, my response was as follows. Becoming a preceptor was not an active decision. Being a preceptor was instilled in me during pharmacy school, while working as a student technician and intern, throughout experiential rotations, and during residency. These experiences were incredibly formative because of the support of phenomenal preceptors and mentors, several of whom are seated on this stage today. Learning alongside engaging and effective preceptors influenced my development as a young professional and as a teacher. Through this, it was always apparent to me that it would be my honor and duty to give back to future generations of learners as had been done for me. I can honestly say that precepting continues to be one of the most fulfilling aspects of my career, and I'm fortunate to work for an organization that supports the opportunity to collaborate with young professionals in lifelong learning. Though I entered my precepting career expecting to give much to learners, I have found that I gain as much, if not more, from precepting interactions and every relationship that's built. Each of you impact me and my teaching style, and for that, I'm forever grateful. It is my hope for each of you that you have an opportunity to engage as a preceptor and mentor in your future careers. You have much to offer and much to learn from that opportunity of shared learning. Congratulations, graduates, and on Wisconsin.
Thank you, Mara, and congratulations once again to Joss and Kate. I now invite Harlan Youssoufi to the stage to speak on behalf of the PhD and master's candidates. Harlan received his PharmD degree from the school in 2020 and is with us today receiving his master's in health systems pharmacy administration.
Hey everyone, I was not going to get to the right side of that staircase. I'm a big man. There's a reason why these caps are one size fits most and not all, and I'm here as an example of that. It feels like a miracle that we're all able to be here and celebrate the accomplishments of all the graduates today. Like others, this is my first college graduation after being in higher education for nearly a decade. I'm thankful for my family and all my loved ones that are here today to celebrate in this accomplishment. They've been my greatest supporters, and they also can't wait to see me start earning a living. I promise I'll make up for all those Mother's Day's gifts Mom purchased on a student's salary. We put off a lot these last 2 years, and the moments we have again feel extra special. I just had my first in-person conference not too long ago and didn't realize how much I missed interactions with peers and just being in a room together. No more awkwardness of the infamous double mute on Zoom as well is helpful. Similarly, my excitement has kept me up at night and built up for this graduation today and this speech. It takes me back to the childish joy the night before going on trips like Disney or other vacations. We were waiting just so long for that moment to be together. Well, now the wait is finally over, and as you can imagine, appropriate celebrations are in order. My name is Harlan Youssoufi, and I'm honored to address you all today at the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Pharmacy. This school has meant a lot to me these past 6 years as I've had the privilege of completing both the Doctor of Pharmacy program and now the MS in Health System Pharmacy Administration. The message I want to share with the graduating class is the life approach on finding success after graduation. You have all been successful and have completed degrees at a top pharmacy school, and you should be proud of this. But what does success beyond this point look like? In thinking about this question, I came to the realization that this is multifactorial to take what you have learned and to apply it outwards. These include focusing on your strengths, utilizing your network, and using that to improve society. To set yourself up for success, put yourself in a position where you can focus on your strengths and minimize weaknesses. All those who have come through my MS program have had the honor of being principled in a book called The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker. In his book, Drucker states, "The effective executive makes strengths productive. To achieve results, one must use all available strengths. The strengths of associates, the strengths of the superior, and one's own strengths. These strengths are true opportunity. To make strength productive is unique purpose of the organization. It cannot overcome weaknesses with which each of us are endowed, but it can make them irrelevant." What I take from this is we shouldn't focus on our shortcomings, but rather what we do better than 90% of the population, and really to capitalize on that. Know who you are, what strengths you possess, and seek opportunities to maximize your potential. Surrounding ourselves with people with diverse strengths to complement our own will also make us more well-rounded and occupy less of our time worrying about our inadequacies. The education we receive here at the School of Pharmacy is a springboard to many careers, both traditional and non-traditional, irrespective of the degree you're conferred. You should use that to place yourself in an area you can achieve success. Doctor of Pharmacy graduates will go into direct patient care and inpatient and outpatient settings, but also they will go on to other unique roles such as academia, supply chain, benefits management, and other areas that a Wisconsin degree offers in readiness for safe and effective use of medications. The Social and Administrative Science program graduates will tackle public health issues affecting patients upstream so that we can improve our care systems and use medications more effectively and actually be less reliant on medications in some instances. Pharmaceutical science graduates will go on to produce innovations in chemical discovery and delivery mechanisms to improve the care clinicians like us are able to provide. And health system pharmacy administration graduates, including myself, will go on to lead pharmacy departments and improve processes for care delivery. Joining us this year, also the MS in applied drug development, whose graduates will go on to use their strengths in pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical production and research. Use your training and what you naturally do well in, and you will find success. But it's not just enough that we leverage our own strengths. We must look to our network for guidance as well. I hope that you have all taken the time to get to know people with rich expertise in areas you're interested, as well as developing lifelong connections with your peers. This is more than just a follow on LinkedIn. Your follower count is not impressive, trust me. We have all built a strong network with our fellow Badgers, and important that we take the time to give thanks on days like today. I'm thankful for Dean Swanson and the school's faculty and staff for creating a welcoming environment and supporting students through constant changes in how we learn to ensure that we still receive a quality education. Thank you to the leadership at UW Health, including my program director, Megan Vagley, and graduate school coordinator, Jack Temple, as well as many preceptors and mentors. You've shown me the value Wisconsin pharmacy brings to patients and the need for continuous innovation and practice and processes. Thank you also to my co-residents, Cece, Drew, and Chanel. They've really been like siblings to me through countless projects, meetings, celebrations over cheese curds at Blue Moon and Tanner's these past 2 years. Many benefits of developing your network include the ability to share your ideas with thought leaders in your discipline, maintaining a pulse on what's going on within pharmacy around the nation, as many of your peers will be spread across the country, and open additional opportunities that you can expedite accomplishing your career goals. It's important that moving forward, we also add some non-Badgers to this group as we head out into the world so people can see that graduates from UW as those that connect to others. This is what provides value and an approach that will certainly bring success to your careers. Lastly, we need to take our strengths and our network and use that for the betterment of society. By osmosis of completing your training here, you will take on unique ideas in Wisconsin pharmacy related to practice and research. A lot of this Wisconsinness will follow you onto your first job, and this can be a great thing since you're coming from an area where pharmacy is held in a high regard. You have a responsibility now that from here on out, anything you do, you share that back with the community and future learners. It was not too long ago that an upper class student helped you with pharmacokinetics calculations when you couldn't remember if volume of distribution was in the numerator or the denominator of the equation. A part of this responsibility also includes articulating to others what we do and the value that we provide in pharmacy to patients. My parents still think that I've just been mixing drugs in a hospital basement all day these past 2 years. So there's still some internal communication that needs to occur before we're able to share externally what graduates of this school provide to the greater public. Some of the great work that I've seen come from this school have ranged from implementing primary care services for those with chronic diseases, developing medications that are more efficacious with fewer side effects and at lower cost, working with community leaders to improve patient understanding of directions on prescription bottles, and optimizing medication delivery workflows to reduce wait times in a hospital. All of these are important, and let's continue to share how we improve patient care and bring up future leaders by teaching them what we know. Be proud of yourselves on reaching this point and strive for excellence in every endeavor you take. If you keep in mind focusing on strengths, utilizing your network, and improving society, you will certainly find success. Take the time to celebrate a resemblance of normalcy this summer and enjoy what Madison has to offer. When you sit on Abe Lincoln's lap at Bascom Hill this weekend, remember this quote from him: "Whatever you are, try to be a good one." Congratulations, thank you, and on Wisconsin.
Thank you, Harold. I now invite Elena Seckel to the stage. Elena is currently the president of the Pharmacy Society of Wisconsin and will lead our Doctor of Pharmacy candidates in reading the oath of a pharmacist. You will find the oath located on the back of your hooding ceremony program.
Tippy toes it is. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to Dean Swanson, the faculty, everyone at the school, and all of you for having the Pharmacy Society of Wisconsin be part of this amazing celebration today. And on behalf of the Pharmacy Society of Wisconsin, I am delighted to welcome you, the class of 2022, to the profession of pharmacy. PSW is a member-driven organization that thrives on your ideas and your leadership. We cannot wait to see the impact that all of you will make on the practice of pharmacy in Wisconsin and far beyond. It is my absolute honor to read aloud the oath of a pharmacist alongside each of you. Before we begin, I'd like to gently request that all of you take a moment to center your mind, your heart, your soul, take a breath, to truly feel the impact of these important words as you say them. Are you ready? Here we go. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will promote inclusion, embrace diversity, and advocate for justice to advance health equity. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for all patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the responsibility to improve my professional knowledge, expertise, and self-awareness. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Congratulations.
Thank you, Elena. I now invite Michael Nagy to the stage. Michael is the current president of the school's Pharmacy Alumni Association, as well as a 2016 graduate from our PharmD program. He will address our graduates as the newest alumni of the School of Pharmacy.
All right, well, good afternoon, class of 2022, the friends and family, as well as the faculty and staff of the University of Wisconsin School of Pharmacy. Congratulations to the graduating students from the class of 2022, and welcome on your next step of your professional journey, which is alumnihood. So let me be the first to officially welcome you as the newest members of the University of Wisconsin-Madison Pharmacy Alumni Association. And that is for all graduates, PharmSci, PharmTox who are not here today, as well as the PharmD graduates. On behalf of the entire alumni base, we are excited to be celebrating your accomplishments. Our mission of the Pharmacy Alumni Association is to connect alumni, students, and the broader School of Pharmacy community through professional engagement events, recognition, social events, as well as philanthropy. These activities that we perform, in addition to the generosity of all of the alumni who have come before me, allow us in the Pharmacy Alumni Association to provide scholarships for students, as well as support student activities. Our Badger alumni are invaluable resources, as you heard today from my fellow speakers. And all of these resources have helped me out in my own young career, and I implore you to take advantage as well. Early in my career, when I'm less able to donate financially, I've volunteered as a member of the Pharmacy Alumni Association board, and I've found that donating my time and energy allows me to pay the gifts I've received forward to the students of this program. As new alumni, some other ways to get involved, as you've seen today, are precepting the introductory and advanced pharmacy students, mentoring students through those different paths like rural health and leadership, or even helping interview prospective students and candidates. I would like to leave you with this last thought of mine, which have been echoed by my fellow speakers today, about the symbiotic relationship between the students, the faculty, the staff, as well as alumni. UW-Madison has an outstanding reputation, and if you ever hear the dean speak, we're always in the top 10 of any pharmacy poll for PharmD students. The faculty are world-renowned and form the knowledge and skills that you developed with your hard work these past 4 or maybe 5 or 6 years, depending on your program. The faculty are supported by hardworking staff members who facilitate the program behind the scenes that most of us have no idea of all the work that they do. Then you, as the new graduates, will impress residency programs, your employers, you'll become innovators and leaders in the field, which further enhance the prestige of our school. You, like myself, have become part of this incredible alumni base who are an area of distinction for the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Pharmacy and really sets this school apart. And in the end, we all benefit from the school maintaining and growing its reputation when we look for career advancement or local, regional, and national recognition. Therefore, it falls on all of us to do what we can as alumni to support the past, the current, and the future students of this program so that the cycle of excellence can continue to benefit us all. So thank you so much for sharing your time and attention and allowing myself as a representative of the Pharmacy Alumni Association to celebrate with you today. Congratulations again, class of 2022.
Thank you, Michael. It's now my pleasure to invite Kia Wesley to the stage to speak on behalf of the 2022 Doctor of Pharmacy class. Kaya is a co-president of her PharmD class and has served in this role during her 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years here at the school.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaya Wesley. I'm honored to have the opportunity to represent my classmates, the Doctor of Pharmacy class of 2022, at this joyous event today, being held in person for the first time in 3 years. Feels like a breath of fresh air. We've almost literally been through hell and high water to get here today. I like the term battle tested, that was a good one. Starting with near record rainfalls in 2018, and then the polar vortex in 2019. Then this virus called COVID in 2020 that changed our lives in so many ways. We've definitely had some bumps in the road, but I mean, what can you expect with a graduation date of Friday the 13th? Somebody had to say it. Regardless of everything that our class has been through, we made it here. Our unique journey has inspired camaraderie and mutual support for one another, bringing us closer together. Knowing how hard that we have worked to get here just makes this moment that much sweeter. We are hopefully able to turn a new leaf in this chain of events, starting with this in-person celebration. I would like to take a moment to thank our professors. There are too many to mention that truly rose to the occasion, overcoming obstacles like their own unpredictable internet connections or kids running around in the background. They restructured their courses and lectures to be more conducive to virtual learning. Dr. Mike Pitterly, in particular, with his IT talents, kept the school afloat during this transition. Thank you to all of our professors for your hard work, dedication, and commitment to get us here today. To the experiential education team charged with organizing and facilitating our clinical rotations, thank you for rolling with the punches and all of the work that you put in behind the scenes to make our Appies a success. I have no doubt that you're breathing a big sigh of relief as we walk across this stage today. To family and friends, both here today and joining us at home, we sincerely thank you. We could not have gotten here today without your love and support. Anything from just phone calls checking in to serving as our patients during consults and diabetic foot exams, to opening your homes to us as we're bouncing around to different clinical rotations. We are so grateful. Now, no graduation speech would be complete without a call to action for the class. No, I'm not going to tell you to go out into the world and work hard and make positive change as we start our careers. That's kind of our default. We know how to do that, and we're pretty good at that because that's how we got here. I have a different challenge for the class. We've all struggled with this, evidenced by every single one of the Ebling Library study rooms being filled to capacity with pharmacy students at 11 o'clock at night. Completely camped out with snacks and slippers, ready for the long haul with exams looming the next morning. I challenge you to channel even a fraction of that energy and drive into your own happiness and well-being. Yes, it's extremely important to dedicate time to our careers and to our patients, but again, that comes very naturally to us. One thing that the pandemic has really brought to light is the need to take care of ourselves and prevent burnout. It's not sustainable to work your tail off for 2, or in our case, 4 years straight. There has to be a balance. Family and friends listening today, you are my witnesses. We need help with this. My classmates, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but I have to get licensed, I have a residency coming up or a job right around the corner. We're really good at piling lots of things on our plates. There will always be more career opportunities, additional years of residency, fellowships, board certifications, publications, and then before we know it, we're in management and leadership roles with even more responsibilities. The list goes on and on. Please take the time, call your grandma, go visit your parents and siblings, leaving your laptop at home, go out to dinner, buy the concert tickets, and take a vacation. COVID, and for us pharmacy school, has taught us that we can't take these things for granted and they won't always be an option. So please do it while you can. Just maybe don't buy Laugh Factory tickets from a random guy in sweatpants. Once is enough. To my classmates, I'm so thankful for the time that we've spent together and the memories that we've shared. I couldn't think of a better group of people to carry on the School of Pharmacy legacy. Our future patients and practice sites are in very good hands. I can't wait to hear about all of your successes in the future, and I couldn't be more proud of our accomplishments being recognized today. Congratulations, class of 2022, and on Wisconsin.
Don't sit down, anyone. Thank you very much, Kaya, for that wonderful speech. Please stand up and join me. Everybody stand up as you are able and join us in singing the time-honored Varsity. Everybody. Final thanks to those who organized tonight's event, this afternoon's event. Anna Reinhardt, Lindsay Weigel, Katie Gerhardt, Sally Griffitho, Alyssa Carnegie, Zoe Andros, and the student ambassadors that volunteered today. Let's give them all a big round of applause, shall we? And everybody is invited to a reception immediately following this ceremony. It's located in Tripp Commons in the Great Hall right here at the Union. Guests, please remain seated. Everybody can be seated now while the graduates recess out. I know it's kind of a downer, isn't it, I guess, a little bit. We had all that energy going. Now we're going to sit down, get the slow music going, put our hats on, and walk with our regalia out there. After they have filed out, please exit the theater. We appreciate your cooperation and understanding. There's another event after this one. So as you leave, congratulations, everybody. Good luck, Godspeed, and on Wisconsin.
Great speech. Oh, it was okay? Okay, thanks.